let's talk about who you are on the internet. This is right now, like me, it's David Smooke. You know more about me from the internet than real life. You know, I've worked with even Lamarck, you know, now a year and a half or whatever, and I've never met him in real life. Like, it's kind of wild. Like, that's the state that we're in. You know, that's how that works. And this, I saw it on the internet. It's definitely real. You know, in a quick shrug, this is actually just a really accurate gift, because it's like that moment of, is this person someone that knows about PlayStation? You know, oh, I saw a couple stories. I saw he's posting about that. I saw he talks about what Sony spends money on. And maybe if I'm hiring for someone that wants to be a writer in the gaming industry, I know this person will cover Sony well. You know, so there's like those tangents that, and just those little anecdotes that, like, every time a word associates you with the on the internet, it's like forming this overall conglomerate of what people think you are online. So we'll start here kind of with what I think kind of the four, when I was looking at how to build up an online strategy. So, I mean, I would say the first thing is reserving your name everywhere. You know, even from 5 years ago, there's way more social sites and blogging platforms and professional networks, professional forums, professional groups. There's a lot of just places to have your name. And, you know, hey, here's a picture of my name. Here's a link to my site if you want to learn more. So I think, you know, getting your name listed across many sites is really important if you want to reach people who read and consume on those type of sites. The second one is kind of a really, I think, an underrated thing around identity on the internet today is Google, you know, owns the search market. That's the majority of search. What actually shows up at the top of Google in the right-hand panel of Google is from Google Knowledge Panel. And so these aren't even domains around the web. This is actually putting your name into Google Knowledge Panel, and they give a rich text embed. So that's something kind of anyone can do, but most people don't know you can. And until you do it, it's just going to be the first hit of your website or whatever social site shows up. So it's just a small, simple, tangible one to get your name, have your name as your identity online. The third one we'll talk briefly about is just a personal site. Even if it's super, super simple, something you can build in an hour, it's still better than not having one. Even if it's plain text and it links to like 2 places, still better. You know, it's still starting with, hey, at least I'm a person. There's an identity home for me on the internet, and my other sites kind of build around this. And also, it's just, you know, long-term, what happens with misinformation? What happens with this and that? Having your own site and saying, hey, this is where I am, and you can control it, I think is it's a very good thing for long-term. And then, you know, kind of the fourth one's a little more of a short-term actionable thing of just choosing which one of the social sites matter to you, because you can't be everything on every site, and you can't be posting social media all day. Like, it's just a waste of time. But picking a few networks that's saying, hey, I want to build here. I want to bring content here. I want to comment with people. I want to message people on this site, and this site has the type of people I want to do business with. So kind of making that decision and getting rid of the noise. And so you don't want to, I think that's really helpful. Well, I think so an actionable one, this is more kind of a, you know, not a super thought-provoking task, but I kind of wanted to show you how we look at it as a company, is so you can kind of think of yourself more like a business. So if you were a business, you know, you want to reserve your name everywhere, especially like, you know, HackerNoon, you know, I've been working on 6 years, and it's a word I made up. You know, it wasn't a word before the site was a word. So yeah, it's, you know, it's tough to teach people what that is. So names, you know, sometimes you have people with the same name. Sometimes you have people with a different name than you, so you're totally unique. But, you know, whenever we looked at it like a business, you know, these were kind of all the sites where we wanted HackerNoon listed. And you think about, you know, common ones like Instagram, you don't think like an Amazon shop is also kind of another name. You know, you could have your recommended books. And then us as a business, you know, more business listings, but it's, you know, decentralized social networks, companies. Like, it doesn't mean you have to post on your YouTube channel every day, but like reserving your name on YouTube and maybe having a playlist of videos you like, or a playlist of videos about how to learn Python or whatever you're interested in, can be kind of a valuable way to just shape your overall story on the internet, you know. And so if you get listed as a scholar in Google Books, I mean, that's really a cool thing. Or Everpedia is a Wikipedia alternative that anyone could contribute to. You could have an entry for your name today, you know, live. Spotify, building your playlist of podcasts is a way to show what kind of stuff you listen to and who you think is an authority on subject matter. I mean, your LinkedIn is big, getting a lot of writing gigs, a lot of marketing, business development. So, this is just one list of what we prioritized in tech as a tech publication. So, if you think you're in gaming, maybe, IGN and more of these forums and gaming networks maybe makes more sense. If you're in machine learning, maybe you're going into more AI discords or discourses and you're looking around at different forums. So I would say just taking time to look around the internet and say, what's every site that can kind of help my career? And I'm going to build a list of recommended reads for some rare expertise on Flipboard. Building a reading list is a good way to show expertise on stuff. So there's, just a lot, like having yourself listed on Crunchbase if you want to get a job in tech. And then when they search you, it can kind of show up there. So it's a good use of time, and it's kind of annoying because you have to register a bunch of places and you're like looking around, but it can be useful to break the task down of just like first ask what site in the whole internet could be valuable to me, as opposed to how can I go to the site and make it valuable today. And so then moving to like controlling your identity, the difference here, once you claim your Google Knowledge Panel, you'll see my name shows up right here, the very first thing. And then on the right-hand column, also over here, so right away, this is another David Smooke who has a site, and then social networks. But like Google is saying, Google Knowledge Panel is more important than the rest of the web. And this is what they do for names now. So this is just copy and paste the links in here about how to get verified. But essentially, you have to be logged into Google. You search your name and you click claim your knowledge panel. And then you can enter this kind of basic information. And now it took, I think I waited around a few months and then it just appeared. And now it's like, okay, if my name gets typed in, they see a picture of my thumbnail and they get more details and a source about that I founded this organization. And this isn't because it's maybe a little easier because I founded an organization, but it was no special treatment. No one did this for me. They're just expecting people to learn and claim their knowledge panel. So it's kind of a little known thing about how to take a lot more control over your name, because it doesn't drive out. So you don't think about like having a big profile elsewhere. But this is most times when people search a name, are they even clicking a link? They learn this information and they move on, then maybe they click a link. So there's a lot about how your impression is formed on the internet just by claiming your Google Knowledge Panel, and you'll see what comes up first about you. So personal sites, like a lot of different ways you can go. My main advice is simple and live is much better than perfect and shipping soon. A personal site isn't something that you put it out on day one and thousands of people are going to want to visit. It's something that's more like, I'm reviewing this person for a job, or I'm just interested in learning more after I read about them. They've already come into your funnel like deeper, because once they're getting to your personal site, it's not just another next person in my newsfeed situation. It's, hey, I really want to learn more about this person. So really just having a simple page is way better than nothing. I mean, I ended up using Strikingly. It's a site builder. You can build pages and have a little blog. Ghost is more of a blogging platform. GitHub Pages is just turning a GitHub repo into a single page. I mean, the simplest thing and oftentimes the best starting spot, Linktree, all it is you just have a bio, some social links, and some call to action links. And you can do that in an hour, connect the domain in 15, 20 minutes, an hour and a half from now. At least you have a site with some links live and you can say, read me over here. Hire me over here, email me over there, and just really, really simple. And that's because you really want to think of it like if your homepage is really your core. And as you publish on sites like HackerNoon, part of the benefit is coming traffic back to your homepage. And if you don't have a homepage, right now, there's nothing to link to. So you don't build up, your links over time. That takes a long time to build up. So I would say, as you look to grow and extract some of the audience, so if you want to build up your own email list from your own site, or just have, be more known for whatever expertise it is. I think it's committing to regular engagement, but only on your preferred sites. You want to make it really manageable. You don't want it to feel like it's part of your job, but you do want to, sometimes it is like here, if I complain or make a suggestion for how Slack should have their user experience and Slack replies, I'm more perceived as knowing something about Slack and software, so I'm taking the time to write this observation down, write these 2 sentences, share a screenshot. And it's like, while you're doing it, it's like, should I be taking the time to do this? Maybe, maybe not. But when I think it's worked well is looking at, let's share professional wins. And let's use whoever's connected to me as an audience to validate that HackerNoon is worth more money, or whatever the thing is I'm working on. 1 good image, 2 sentences, link to the blog post. Not sharing, it's giving people kind of a little bit of what you will get. It's more than just saying link and headline, because a native image on a lot of these networks will go further. Both these posts, are native images, and they end up getting shared more because all these networks really, at the end of the day, without original content, they're nothing. If people don't keep giving them content, LinkedIn's gonna get pretty boring. It's gonna be, this person got a job, that person got a job, and you're not gonna log into a site just to learn every day to learn who gets a job once a month, or once a year. So I've personally, put a little more push on GitHub as HackerNoon's trying to recruit more software developers, and I'm trying to build more software. And historically, a lot more time on LinkedIn and Twitter and growing my HackerNoon. And that's my choice as someone who's running a startup, works with editors, software developers, software sales. So it's like, those are good sites for me, because that's what I'm trying to grow. But it doesn't mean that, it's the right choices for you. Here's my pro tip on social. So if you follow my plan in the beginning, you're going to get signed up to a lot of social networks. You're going to get a lot of notifications. My pro tip here of just something I think for everyone to get better use out of all of their social media and the internet as a whole is, whenever possible, turn off all the notifications. I would kill every notification. Personally, I kill every notification. I don't allow any browser notifications. I don't allow any phone push notifications at all. So that doesn't have to be that extreme, but also in you don't have to be that extreme, but also in emails, I end up being too liberal and they keep sending and I forget to unsubscribe. And unsubscribe sometimes can be tricky, and it's easier to do in the app settings. But just whenever possible, I would say, like, try and not make the relationship with the social network of, you're calling me, now I have to do something. What you want to treat these networks like is, I feel like sharing today, I feel like learning today, so I visit the network. It's a much different, you'll usually be more productive, I found, if you just do this simple step. If you look back at the last 10 times you visited your 10 social sites, did you visit it because the notification came in and you were grabbed? Or did you visit it because you wanted to learn about your friends, or because you wanted to be on the network? So I would say the more you guys can get towards, it's always because it's your choice, the more healthy your relationships will be with these networks battling for your attention.
Thanks for tuning in to this lesson in HackerNoon's blogging fellowship. Please check out the links in the video description for the rest of the video lessons, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep writing, and we look forward to reading your next piece on HackerNoon.